England lost to Spain 1-0 in the Women's World Cup final on Sunday. But before even 1 second of match time had elapsed, the racist media was showing the squad a red card for what they deemed was a lack of diversity. For MRCTV, I'm John Simmons and welcome to the woke world of sports. A panel on the British network Sky News discussed the topic of the Women's World Cup on a Sunday broadcast. What should have been a cheery discussion about a major event quickly changed tune when black activist Wilfred Emmanuel Jones said the team wasn't representative of England.
Do you think we can, Wilfred?
Well, I tell you what, actually, this is quite an interesting front cover. And I don't want to sort of pour boiling water on it, but it isn't that diverse. I mean, it really sticks out at you that, you know, they're all they look sort of blonde, blue-eyed. And if it was the men's World Cup, it would be very representative of the Britain that we're in, very, very diverse.
So let's indulge this crazy notion that because there are only 3 black players on the squad, we have a racism problem on our hands. What would Emmanuel Jones say has caused this?
Why do you think
I'm going to be watching it and I'm going to be supporting it, and I don't want to be seen as pouring cold water on. But there is something we need to look at is why is it...
What do you think it is?
I don't know.
Geez, a race baiter not being able to explain his position yet standing by it anyway? What a shock. But he was far from the only one to gripe about the melanin count of the women's team. Bristol City coach Anita Asante wrote a rambling op-ed about how the current state of English soccer prevents black girls from wanting to play the sport. She begins her article by saying, before they can begin envisaging being part of a trophy-winning team or start dreaming about scoring goals galore, budding lionesses need role models to whom they can relate. That is one of the many reasons why diversity is so important and why it is legitimate to question the England team's whiteness. Asante then rambled on and on about how the English soccer system doesn't look for talent in diverse areas enough, and that racial bias explains why mostly white women get chosen for the team. Once again, the system is the problem and is silently destroying any hope for black girls in England to play soccer at the international level. Can we stop with this cop-out of a narrative and actually consider other options? Both Emmanuel Jones and Asante think that too many white girls get chosen over black girls. But if you look at the demographics of the country, you'd realize that shouldn't be a surprise. England and Wales report a joint census each year, and in 2021 the population of these nations was 59.6 million. Of those roughly 60 million, nearly 82% identified as white and only 4% identified as black. While England and Wales have separate teams, these numbers alone mean that the chances of the English team being predominantly white are pretty high, as 4 out of every 5 people in these two countries are white. That means more white girls are going to play soccer than black ones, and the white girls might just be better than the black girls. If the country is predominantly white and not black, then I'd say Emmanuel Jones was looking at a team that represents England pretty accurately. Another annoying element of the left's diversity arguments is that they assume an unequal outcome of representation automatically means racism exists, but only when black people are in the minority. For example, there's a huge imbalance of representation in the NBA, where 71% of all players are black. Does that mean the progressive media has come out guns a-blazing and said the NBA has racial bias against white, Asian, or Hispanic men that want to play at that level? If you guessed no, you're correct. But as soon as black people aren't in the majority, like we see with England's women's team, the progressive media sounds the racism alarm. That is an irresponsible assumption to make, especially when so many other factors provide a more likely explanation for an inequality of outcomes.